Hello, welcome back to other Lunchtime Live. We're on, I think 6 weeks in now. Full disclosure, I know we missed last week. It was a really busy day for us, so I hope you can forgive us. But welcome back to join us for the sixth Lunchtime Live. Today, I wanted to do quite a short reading, actually. I hope you can forgive a shorter reading, but it's from A Tale of Two Cities, which has to be one of my favourite of Dickens's stories. This particular scene is really right at the end. It's one of the beginning of the last chapter of that particular novel. A Tale of Two Cities, for those of you who don't know, is a glorious novel set during the French Revolution between London and Paris. Dickens himself was someone who was always a passionate supporter of ordinary working people. He wanted ordinary people to have better lives and better livelihoods. And he didn't generally espouse himself too closely to any particular political philosophy or party. He very much feared revolution for many reasons. I mean, he spent much time out in France. He holidayed in France quite a lot, and France itself was somewhere that was politically a hot topic in the 1850s when he wrote A Tale of Two Cities. About 10 years before he wrote this book, the whole of Europe had been swept up in revolution. A new French Republic had been proclaimed. But then in 1852, about 7 years before he wrote A Tale of Two Cities, the French president was declared Emperor Napoleon III, and a new French empire was established. So in France, there were all these great political questions. Do we have a monarchy, an empire, or a republic? All these questions were coming to the fore. And indeed, across Europe, there was a great deal of political flux. People knew revolutionary movements. No one was quite certain what the best course of government would be. And even here in Britain, where we had the advancements of technology and industry, that was creating a much bigger gulf between the rich and poor. And Dickens feared that what was happening is a lot of people were being left behind, and this could lead to revolution. So although A Tale of Two Cities was a work of historical fiction, it was set in the kind of the not too distant past for Dickens, it was also a bit of a critique on the world in which he lived and a bit of a warning call. The real message of A Tale of Two Cities, by the time you get to the end of the novel, is that once a revolution has erupted, everyone is dragged into the abyss, rich or poor, mighty and small. And this scene at the end of the novel really captures this deep sense of melancholy, of poignancy, of almost wistfulness that this great violent eruption has happened and everybody is now at its mercy. So I want to read this extract because it's beautiful, it's very, very poetic, and I think it captures this deep sense of uncertainty when you're living through a very turbulent political age. And of course, we wouldn't know anything about that today, would we? So I'm just going to get the reading up for you. And here we go, A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. Along the Paris streets, the death carts rumble, hollow and harsh. 6 tumbrils carry the day's wine to la guillotine. All the devouring and insatiate monsters, imagined since imagination could record itself, are fused in the one realization, guillotine. And yet there is not in France, with its rich variety of soil and climate, a blade, a leaf, a root, a sprig, a peppercorn, which will grow to maturity under conditions more certain than those that have produced this horror. Crush humanity out of shape once more, under similar hammers, and it will twist itself into the same tortured forms. Sow the same seed of rapacious license and oppression over again, and it will surely yield the same fruit according to its kind. 6 tumbrils roll along the streets. Change these back again to what they were, thou powerful enchanter, time, and they shall be seen to be the carriages of absolute monarchs, the equipages of feudal nobles, the toilettes of flaring Jezebels, the churches that are not my father's house, but dens of thieves, the huts of millions of starving peasants. No, the great magician, who majestically works out the appointed order of the Creator, never reverses his transformations. If thou be changed into this shape by the will of God, say the seers to the enchanted, in the wise Arabian stories, then remain so. But if thou wear this form through mere passing conjuration, then resume thy former aspect. Changeless and hopeless, the tumbrils roll along. As the sober wheels of the 6 carts go round, they seem to plough up a long crooked furrow among the populace in the streets. Ridges of faces are thrown to this side and to that, and the ploughs go steadily onward. So used are the regular inhabitants of the houses to the spectacle, that in many windows there are no people, and in some the occupation of the hands is not so much as suspended, while the eyes survey the faces in the tumbrils. Here and there the inmate has visitors to see the sight. Then he points his finger with something of the complacency of a curator or authorized exponent to this cart and to this, and seems to tell who sat here yesterday and who there the day before. Of the riders in the tumbrils, some observe these things and all things on their last roadside with an impassive stare, others with a lingering interest in the ways of life and men. Some, seated with drooping heads, are sunk in silent despair again. There are some so heedful of their looks that they cast upon the multitude such glances as they have seen in theatres and in pictures. Several close their eyes and think, or try to get their thoughts together. Only one, and he a miserable creature, of the crazed aspect, is so shattered and made drunk by horror that he sings and tries to dance. Not one of the whole number appeals by look or gesture to the pity of the people. There you are. I hope you enjoyed that. For me, it's just such a powerful reading. It's very poetic, it's very Shakespearean, but it really captures this sense of hopelessness. Once this kind of political violence has erupted, it's very hard to contain, and all the people are left at its mercy. It's a very stark warning to us all. But of course, The Tale of Two Cities is more than that. It is a very, very good read. So I thoroughly recommend, if you're looking for something to read this February, pick up A Tale of Two Cities and dive right in. You will not regret it. See you next week.